Hi guys, and welcome back to Command Battle Wins Waffle and War segment. So far, we have looked at Space Marines or Ultramarines. We have looked at Death Guard. We have looked at Tyranids, and now we're going to look at Necrons. So it's you've got me, Chris, crispy chicken salad, and you've got Joe.
Hello.
Just Joe.
Hello.
And then, as it sends his apologies, he is currently driving back from a different place now. So he's been going all over the country, different place each day. So he is not available to join us on this warp-filled adventure. Good. So let's dive right on into the Necrons then. Joe, do you know much about reanimation protocols?
I had a little bit of a look when they all came out because I like to have a look at the other armies and get excited. But please, by all means, you are our Necron expert.
I am, and when you explain a rule to me, I understand it well. So
Absolutely.
We've had a little chinwag about this one because I was struggling to get my head around it a little bit, just with some of the wording, which you found was incredibly clear. So what we know now is they basically looks like they've combined the reanimation protocol and the living metal ability from 9th edition, and it's now just one thing in the command phase rather than at the end of each attack. And you're basically gaining D3 lost wounds. So anything that's been wounded, you're going to roll for to get D3 wounds back. And if that spills over to lost wounds, you bring back those lost wounds. Previously, with the reanimation protocol, if you had something that was killed with 3 wounds, you had to roll the 3 wounds and roll 5s and 6s on all of those to bring it back. Now you're guaranteed to bring them back. So actually, that's been massively buffed. So that's looking good. That's looking a lot better and a lot easier to sort of activate for those bigger wound models, if that makes sense. So like your Scorpet destroyers and those sorts of models that have got 3 wounds each. Scarabs, big models. So
Scarabs.
Those that have got like sort of multiple wounds, you're more likely to reanimate the back now, whereas before it was quite difficult to.
So I'm raising my hand here. You can't see. So is this for every model in the army, or is it just one unit?
That is a good question. If your army faction is Necrons, at the end of your command phase, each unit from your army with this ability. So it will depend on whether or not it's got the ability on there. So I imagine they've probably been a bit more selective with what can and can't reanimate.
Okay, and that'll have the ability reanimation protocol. Okay, cool.
Exactly. So what we'll do is we'll run through some of the stratagems and stuff like we have done. We stick with the formula we've got, and then I've picked out a few that are my bread and butter ones that I sort of always my go-to list guys. So we're not looking at any new models, that sort of stuff. We're going to go with the ones that I tend to lean towards when I'm building a list. We'll just have a look at how they're doing.
Awesome.
Sound good?
Sounds good. So command protocols.
Yeah, so your command protocols, that has been streamlined. So this is good because I know myself and a lot of other people just didn't bother with command protocols because they only had a certain range and they're only on certain bits and keeping up with it. It just didn't work that well. They've streamlined it now and it's nice. It's basically, if you've got a Necrons character, when it joins the squad, it basically allows that unit to add one to the hit roll when it makes an attack.
Were these the command protocols in 9th? Were they that deck of cards that you used to get and you used to shuffle through them frantically?
Yeah, the 6 different ones. You'd choose what order after you've deployed, but before you go, before you roll off to see whose turn it first it was, you would decide on the order in which turn you would have your command protocols.
Okay.
And then later on in 9th, you had one that was active all the way through the game, and then the others were in and out. And they weren't particularly helpful, and there were limited ranges, and it was one of those where we had too many rules, and you just ended up just forgetting about it because it just wasn't really feasible. So this is a nice streamlined version. They've done really well with this. I'm quite happy. And like we were saying, I imagine that as time goes on, they may add in a few different command protocols. So it'll be interesting to see if they're just ones that you can sort of choose or whether they will be sort of HQ specific. What does like a Scorpet Lord compared to an Overlord? do they have different abilities for different things? So that's something that you can see Games Workshop have built in for them to be able to add to over time, by the looks of it.
Have you looked at the data sheets at all? Because they may have already done
Not
some
yet.
things. So you might find, because I had a look through some of the stuff and I thought it was quite interesting what they've done.
Well, we shall find out when we go there. But
So
now
yes,
we're on stratagems.
Sorry, I've started painting because normally I don't paint. I do the talking. So I'm allowing you to do the talking while I do the painting.
Well, everybody loves my nasal docile tones, so
At least you don't sound like you're underwater.
Well, yeah. But that could be because my mic is playing up, or it could be because I'm a bit nasally. We're not sure which one. Comments below.
Which is a real problem that Chris is, in the process of maybe going to see ENT about. Well, not just that, but
Yeah, I don't think they'll fix it, to be honest. I think I'm too far gone.
I've offered to punch you in the nose so you can have a free rhinoplasty.
Do you know, a lot of people I meet offer me that.
But interestingly, you don't talk to them.
Yeah, the last person to offer it me was my mother. What?
Anyway,
right.
Sorry.
Protocols of the Eternal Guardian. Awakened Dynasty, Epic Deed Stratagem. So use it in any phase. One Necron infantry character model from your army that was just destroyed. So we've got a Necron's infantry character. It's just been destroyed. So what's going to happen? So this is basically if I've been shot at and shot off the board, been attacked, if I've been if I've charged in and lost the charge, that sort of stuff. If it's been destroyed, what happens? I can set the model back on the battlefield as close to possible to where it was destroyed, but more than 1 inch away from any enemy model, so out of engagement range, with half its starting number of wounds remaining. Restrictions. Each model can only be targeted with a stratagem once per battle. So that is, do you remember when we played Winters in Ninth?
I do,
and he had a Technomancer, and the Technomancer fell.
Yeah.
And then he brought it back.
Didn't I kill it?
Yeah, you killed it, and then he brought it back.
And I was very upset.
And it was like, oh, bloody hell, just killed that, now it's back here again. And it carried on buffing. That's basically the one he used from 9th that they brought forward into 10th.
Okay.
Sorry. For 1 command point, that's pretty cheeky.
I was going to say, sorry, just quickly, are you aware that Overwatch works on like all the turns now? So you were saying about charge and stuff. In theory, I could take Overwatch, kill him, and as he's charging or whatever, or move him, or I think you can even do it in shooting phase as well, and then kill him, and then you can then just bring him back. That's pretty mean.
Nice. And the best part about this is that previously you had to roll a dice. So I think one of our games, I failed to roll for it, if you remember. Now it doesn't look like you've got to roll a dice. It looks like you just say, yep, 1 command point and it's back.
Beautiful.
So they've really, really made Necrons very, very much a reanimating army. That's what they've really done with this. I like it.
Good.
Okay, Protocol of the Hungry Void, 1 command point. In the fight phase, 1 Necron's unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by your models in this unit. In addition, if a unit Necron's character is leading your army, until the end of the phase, improve the armor penetration characteristic of melee weapons equipped by this unit by 1. So 1 Necron's unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase. So I'm guessing that means that they can fight, they're eligible to fight, but you've not actually fought with them yet in the fight phase.
Sounds about
so
right.
That reads to me like you do whatever you're doing. Right, we're going to resolve here. Okay, before we start, I'm going to use this command, protocol or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm going to use it. And then I'm going to basically make them a bit stronger, which is good because then I can decide whether or not it's worth using it. Because obviously, if you've got something that's a toughness of 6 and I've got a strength of 7 already, adding 1's not going to make any difference.
Yeah.
So that's a good sort of, because we can find that out and sort of use that to the advantage. So that could be helpful. Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to decide whether or not what's better to spend your command point on: bring them back, or make them stronger and hit harder.
Why not both?
That is a good shout. And then we move on to Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant, Awakened Dynasty. So these are the Awakened Dynasty. I'm guessing you've only got one dynasty at the moment then.
Yes, yeah.
And then I imagine they'll slowly introduce more dynasties as you go along. So in your shooting phase, one Necrons unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. So again, same similar situation. We're in the shooting phase. We've got to this unit. I'm going to start shooting. That's when I'm going to spend it. Unit until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets a unit within half of the firing weapon's range, you can re-roll the wound roll. If a Necron's character is leading the unit until the end of the phase, this effect applies at the firing weapon's full range instead. So that's quite mean. So you can re-roll your wound rolls. So essentially, it turns into a bit like a plague weapon for the Death Guard from 9th, where if you fail your wound roll, you can just re-roll it. But even better than the old Death Guard, because that was on a 1. I scratched the Death Guard comment. I'm just trying to make everything Death Guard. So basically, you re-roll a wound roll within half range, unless you've got a character leading it, whether it's for full range. Again, that's hitting hard. So, I mean, if you spend these wisely and well, you could, in one turn, really, really pack a big punch if you wanted to. If you want to get that early lead, that could, you could really use these quite nicely.
I thought people were moaning about the Necrons. I think they sound pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, we're not as good at reading it and going, okay, that's going to mean this, because we don't have that wide oracle of knowledge across every army.
Yeah.
And we're more of a play it and then see how it actually works out. But so far, they're sounding like they're going to be quite hard to destroy off the board completely. But it would depend on whether or not they just get shot off the board. Yeah, so if the whole unit wiped out, you're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Had that done to me with Tyrannus before.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? So we've got some more stratagems. So we've got another 3 stratagems to quickly go through.
Nice.
Are we all right on time? We're trying to get close to 30 minutes, aren't we?
12 minutes in and going.
We've got plenty of time, though. Good. So we've got the Awakened Dynasty Strategic Ploy Stratagem, Protocol of the Undying Legions. So this is the opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit has resolved its attacks. So that looks like it's basically you've already been targeted, you've already got all your damage coming in, and one Necron's unit from your army that had one or more of its models destroyed as a result of the attacking unit's attacks. So let's say you've got 10 Necron warriors and you've had 5 of them destroyed. Effect, your unit reactivates its reanimation protocols and reanimates D3 wounds. When doing so, if a Necron's character is leading, your unit reanimates D3+1. So that's where you sort of you can spend 1 command point and have your reanimation protocols after you've just been wiped out, like half your unit's been wiped out, if you know that you're about to take fire from another one and you really want them to survive. Wow. So that's a good one, isn't it? That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to be going right, and I'm guessing that means that you actually get to do it in the command phase, reactivate it after you've been shot, and then your next command phase you reactivate it again. You're not pulling it forward. It's just a bonus one.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's powerful. I like it.
That's gonna upset you.
It is. It's already upsetting me now because I'm sure I looked at the Warriors data sheet, and I'm sure they've got like the ability to reanimate easier, and then you've got that big walking thing that points a laser, which makes them reanimate easier as well.
Reanimation protocol,
yeah.
So that'd be interesting because you're not doing the pool thing, because that used to reanimate on 4. That'd be interesting. I'm not on the list to review, but we'll see if we've got time. Protocol of the Sudden Storm, 1 command point. In your movement phase, 1 Necron's unit from your army. Until the end of that turn, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have the assault ability. In addition, if a Necron's character is leading your unit into the end of phase, you can re-roll advance rolls made for your unit.
That's
you
good.
Basically you can advance and shoot, is what they're saying.
But you get to re-roll your advance as well. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, if you've got a character in it. And then Protocol of the Vengeful Stars. I feel like I know what this is going to be. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has resolved its attacks. one Necron unit from your army that had one or more of its models destroyed as a result of the attacking unit's attacks. Your unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but it
Ooh,
must target the enemy unit that has just attacked it. So it can return fire, basically,
that's
and can
horrible.
only do so if the enemy unit is an eligible target. In addition, if a Necron's character is leading your army until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have the Ingor's cover ability.
Ignores.
Ignores. It's getting late. Ignores. Comments below to take the mick out of me. I will take it.
Ignores. Come on, ignores.
Come on, Ingors. That's when you get a t-shirt made for me that says Ingor. Right. Ignores cover ability. So that is pretty decent.
That's mean.
So that basically gets to return fire. So you shoot at me and I go, hey, don't you shoot at me. And shoot back. So long as you're within range and you're not outside, and I can see you and all of that jazz.
And all that jazz.
So I imagine the reason why they put that bit is if you've got a sniper, for example, that shot me from quite far away.
Yeah.
And then I've only got a 12-inch range and you're further away. Giggity. All right, then. So that is the stratagems. Pretty mean, pretty impressive. I would say better stratagems than the Death Guard stratagems.
Yeah.
More useful. Well, I'd say all of them are really useful, whereas the previous armies we've played, we've reviewed, I'd say it's been about half that I've thought, oh yeah, I'd really use those. And about half I thought, I don't think I'll bother with those. But these ones, they all seem to be ones that I'll be spoilt for choice with that. Maybe I'm going to start like a Necrons more.
Start to what?
Maybe I'm going to start to like Necrons more.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. Have you seen?
Oh, dude, enhancements, Veil of Darkness.
I'm looking at it right now.
Let me read that and see if it's the same as before. Once per battle, at the end of your opponent's movement turn, if the bearer's unit is not within engagement range of an enemy unit, that's different. The bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, remove that unit from the battlefield. Then in the reinforcement stepping movement phase, set up that unit anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy models. Good. Nothing about the edge. So you can come in from the edge if you want or not.
Yep. So you take them in my turn, and then you bring them in at the end of your movement phase.
Yeah, once per battle at the end of your opponent's turn. So at the end of your turn, it's basically at the start of my command phase.
At the end of your movement phase is your reinforcement phase, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can take them off the battlefield at the end of your turn, which would be at the start of my command phase, essentially.
Yeah. Was it in 9th where you could move them in your movement phase?
Yeah, you pick them up in your movement phase and drop them back in your movement phase. But that doesn't make too much difference. I think that's I'll tell you what the difference is there. You're sacrificing reanimation.
Yes, yeah, true.
That's what you're doing, because you take them off at the end of your turn, and all the reanimation protocol triggers in the command phase, and then you drop them in your reinforcement state. So when you use that, you need to make sure you're being careful not to use it on something that you desperately need to reanimate.
Yeah.
Helpful knowledge.
Good.
Right. What else have we got?
Sovereign Coronal.
Coronal, or it's an aura ability.
Or Colonel.
Necron model only. While a friendly Necron's unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, that unit counts as being led by a Necron's character. So that is a character that hasn't joined, but it pretends it has joined.
Or even if you've got a character that can't join a squad, or can't join a certain squad that you've got, you're basically essentially forcing it to join it. Because not all leaders can join every squad. They're limited.
That's true. And it will mean that basically the command protocol's ability is passed on to that unit. So that's quite handy.
That's good.
So that could be quite helpful. I suppose as well then, if you were to have, say, 2 units, and then you put the character in the middle of those 2 units within range of them, it can pass the enhancement on to both of them.
I don't know.
Well, a friendly Necrons unit, I mean, it says while a friendly Necrons unit is within 6 inches. I wonder if that's going to be FAQ'd.
I mean, there is already some stuff out there, like where you can't buff them with 2 different. I don't know. It sounds like something you should be able to do.
To be fair, it says designers note that this means that units within range of this or ability will benefit from command protocols ability, and will count as containing a character for the purposes. So it says units within range. So I'm going to say yes, you can do that. You can put that character in the middle of 2 units,
Oh,
3
sorry.
units,
Sorry,
and it'll pass it on.
I missed. I thought you said that you've got basically a squad with a leader in it, and then you put him next to that squad with the leader already in it, and then another squad, and then that squad with the leader gets the leader's ability plus the ability from this character.
Oh no, but I wonder if you could do that.
That's what I thought you meant. I do apologise.
Well, we'll find out. Moving on to the hyper material ablator.
That's sexy.
Sounds mean. Necron models only. Everything's Necrons. We're in the Necrons data sheets. While the bearer is leading a unit, models in that unit have this stealth ability.
Oh.
So that's the bit where it comes along and goes, guys, if you tiptoe, they won't hear you. In addition, each time a ranged attack attacks the bearer's unit, if the attacker is not within 12 inches, models have the benefit of cover. So that's quite nice. Yeah. That's something that if you're moving across the battlefield, that's something you'd want to join. If you want a leader to join that squad and then run them across the battlefield in the open to give them the benefit of cover to make it a bit easier.
So assuming that your leader doesn't already have a relic weapon or ability or whatever, you could stick that hypermantle obliterator on a HQ, then join into let's say your blade guard guys, and then run them across the board, and then they get the benefit of cover whilst they're running across the board.
Yeah,
that's good.
Nice. Yeah,
and then
and then ones. Finally the sempiternal weave. The bearer has a feel no pain +4 ability.
4 plus feel no pain. That's good.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Shrug off wounds on a 4.
Nice. Right, how much time have we got left?
We've got around about 8 minutes.
Okay,
but we're okay.
We'll see where we get to.
Yeah.
Let's go to Royal Warden on page 21 then, because he seems to be a bit of a standard HQ choice for me.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think he's going to synergize with Warriors, maybe. Not looked, so let's see.
This
right,
is
Royal Warden.
Experience.
So let's just see. Immortals or Necron Warriors is who he synergizes with. So good. So it's a movement of 5 inches. I think that was the same as before. Toughness of 5, similar as before. Saving throw, wounds. So it looks like they're all pretty much similar to before. And he's got the Relic Gas Blaster, which is lethal hits and a rapid fire 2. So that's 2 attacks. So all the same sort of load out before, -1 AP, doing 2 damage each, and potentially 4 wounds being hit.
Yeah.
But this time he's got a close combat weapon, which he didn't have before.
Yeah.
4 attacks, strength of 5. That's nice. Weapon skill, no AP and 1 damage. So that's not bad. It's basically punches, isn't it?
And his abilities are pretty mean as well.
Let's have a look. Adaptive. While this unit is leading a unit, ranged weapon is equipped by models in that unit have the heavy and assault abilities. Oh, so he can join in and then turn the warriors into assault warriors.
So advance them. So they get both. So advance and shoot.
He could advance in and then still shoot and shoot pretty hard.
And then I assume that the next turn, if they don't move, then they get the +1 to the hit rolls because it's a heavy. So obviously you -1 if you don't get the ability if you move, I think.
Right. Okay. So then if you're standing still, good. And then engrammatic logic. Once per battle at the start of any phase, you can select one friendly Necron's unit that is battle shocked. And within 12 inches of this model, that unit is no longer battle shocked. Ooh.
That's good.
Okay, that's good. That's going to do some really good unlocking abilities there. That's going to be a nice buff. No real war gear options. You get 1 model. It's equipped with the stuff. Yeah, nice straightforward loadout. I'm looking forward to using him. He's going to go nicely with the Warriors. Other HQ option is on page 33. It's the Technomancer. We know I like the Technomancer.
Techno. Staff of Light.
Did I say no, 33? Sorry, yeah.
33, page 33. The Technomancer.
Here he is. So movement's 5 inches. Now he did used to be able to war gear ability, Cantipec cloak. It gives it the fly keyword, and you can move 10 inches. So that's the same as in ninth. So that's nice. Got that nice quick
But
movement there.
he gains
Stuff.
the lone operative ability, so I think if he can fly, he can't join a squad, I think.
Okay, let's roll down and have a look. Leader. The mortal can be attached to this model. Sorry, the mortal. This model can be attached to the following units: Immortals, Lynch Guard, Necron Warriors. You can attach this model to one of the above units, even if the Royal Warden or Noble model has already been attached to
That's
it.
good.
If you do, and the body guard unit is destroyed, the leader units attached to this become separate units with their original starting strengths. Okay, so basically, you join some warriors. If all those warriors get killed, they just break up again.
Yeah.
Nice. And then just go, yeah, oh, well, I'm not with them. I'm just going to move over here. Oh, I'm not with them. I'm with them. Nice. Does it say anything about the where did you see if it's
so Cantipec's cloak? The bearer has the fly keyword, the lone operative ability, and can move 10 characteristics. Characteristics of 10. So he then doesn't. I think that's what lone operative means. They can't join a squad. I think.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners.
And while a friendly Cantipec unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, each time a Cantipec model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll.
I like that. That's good.
That's nice. So that's quite a bit of buffing really there.
He's your apothecary, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. So bringing on nicely to the rights of reanimation. While this unit is leading a unit, models in that unit have a feel no pain 5+ ability.
So you got 10 warriors. He's leading them, and they're all shrugging off on 5+ on wounds. But then you can also.
I've got my Royal Warden in there.
Yeah.
Buffing the hell out of them. And obviously, I'm going to be running 20 warriors.
Oh my god.
And then Technomancer, at the end of your movement phase, you can select one friendly Necrons model within 3 inches of the bearer. That model regains up to D3 lost wounds. Each model can only be selected for this ability once per turn. So that's pretty good. So we get to reanimate stuff, spend the command point to reanimate a bit more. Those warriors are not going anywhere anytime soon.
Have you got warriors on your list?
Yes, that's the next actually.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to page 41, and we're going to now look at these lovely, lovely warriors.
I was just skipping ahead because I'm sure I read that they've limited this. Oh no, 20. No, I thought they limited the squad size for 10th.
So again, we've got the option of flayers or reapers. So your flayer is going to be lethal hits with a rapid fire 1, and your gas reaper is lethal hits, and it's 2 basically, but it's not rapid fire. So you sort of your gas reaper, it's a harder hitting one. Well, basically you get more attacks, but it's a shorter range. So that's something you have to consider. There's the armor piercing, you get -1, and your gas reaper, I think it may have been -1 before.
I think it was
similar kind of loadouts. Yeah. And then you've got close combat weapon. They've listed it, but basically it's punches again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just the same as user, really. So number is their legion. Each time this unit's reanimation protocol is active, it reanimates D6 wounds instead of D3 wounds, unless it is. And these are the warriors have 1 wound each. So you're bringing back D6 warriors each instead of D3, unless it is within range of an objective marker that you control, in which case it reanimates D3 + 3. So if you're near an animation, you're guaranteed 4 wounds, 4 models back. So before 4 and 10. And if you're not within an objective marker, you're guaranteed between 1 or 6 models back. Yeah. That's pretty decent. So in the command phase, you're gonna bring them back. Then you're gonna be also if you've got your Technomancer, you're gonna bring back some more.
Yep.
And then you could be halfway through a round and then reanimate again with a command point. And then you get onto your next command phase and you reanimate again.
Oh, they're going to be. I mean, they're already fucking hard to kill anyway. Now they're going to be really, really hard. To be fair, aren't they?
Do you know what? No, the only way that we could be moaning about Necrons is if their points are ridiculous.
Well, they've released the points. I haven't looked at them.
They
obviously,
have, but we haven't looked at the points. But
no.
you know, that's a separate podcast altogether. So any of models can have their gas flail replaced with one gas reaper. So you could basically swap them all out, or you could do half and half, or whatever you're feeling. You can do whatever you like, and you can have 20 Necron warriors, and obviously you can have 3 of a lot. So basically, you can bring up to 60 warriors in a list.
Very nice.
That is nice. What time are we on?
Yes, we're 30 minutes. We've got on the last one, aren't we?
Last one, and then I was going to look at the Catan Shard as one that I've not used before, but
go on then.
So let's go to the destroyers on page 57.
I want to have a look at the Catan as well. 57.
Right,
we'll do destroyers and then we'll do the Catan.
Yeah. Scorpet destroyers can move a bit. I think did they have 8 inches before? They're now 7 inch.
I'm not too sure.
Toughness is 6. I think there were 5 before. Same throw of 3+. And they've got 3 wounds each. So relatively similar to 9th. And they've got the hyperphase weapons.
So they've
interestingly,
lost.
They haven't got. Yeah, they used to have the one with the big reap blade, and then they had 2 with the thrashers, didn't they?
Hang on, it says at the bottom here. Oh, so if you scroll down to the bottom, for every 3 models in this unit can have 1 plasma sight, and it's an ability, war gear.
The plasma sight was that little tadpole thing.
Okay, so they've lost that strong attack.
So we've lost the really big one, which
Thank God for that.
Taken out that one was really hard hitting. So now they've all just got the same weapons regardless of what the model's loaded out with. Okay, that's fine. Not as happy about that. But
the strength is 7 minus 2 AP doing 2 damage each. I don't think you were.
Yeah,
it was
that was 3 damage. I think the big hype phase one was 3 damage before. So when they landed really bloody hard.
Hang on, I can tell you if Warpedia is working for me. I can tell you exactly what it was. We'll be right back.
There we go. Joe's getting really excited, so he stopped painting. Everyone else noticed.
I have stopped painting, you're right. So, the Scorpex Destroyers had a movement of 8 and now down to 7, so you're quite right. Their toughness has gone up to 6 from 5. Their Hyperphase Thrasher was 3 attacks. You've now gone up to 4 attacks. It was minus 3 AP doing 2 damage. And the reblade.
They have the ability though on that you got to make an additional attack.
Yeah, and then
so basically it's the same amount of attacks.
And then your hyper reblade was +2 strength, was minus 4 AP, doing 3 damage.
Yeah, so they've got rid of that. So that's a nerf.
What? No,
because now you haven't got it anymore.
But the toughness on that Scorpex hyperphase weapon is stronger than before. So you've now.
What was the strength?
Strength was 5, so it's now gone up to 7.
Yeah, but then it was plus 2, so it was 7 anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's the same strength as the Reaper blade.
Yeah, but you're doing a lot less damage, and the AP is not as good.
No.
So yeah, I think I would have sooner had that really big, hard hitting one, and then I'd have sooner had the 9th loadout basically with the one really strong one. And then 2 slightly less strong, but still very strong ones. I feel like that was a good combination. We'll see when we play it. I may change my mind when we play it and think actually that's better. So we'll see. So let's see what other options we've got. So abilities wise, so we've got reanimation protocols for those. So we get to reanimate with those. Whirling onslaught. Each time a model in this unit makes a melee attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the attack's weapon skill characteristic and/or that attack's hit roll. So that's good. So that means if you've got something that would reduce one from the hit roll, don't have to.
Yeah,
so that's good. And like you say, the war gear ability with the plasma sight, which is the little tadpole, which used to be you could roll on a D6, and basically it was on a 4-5. I think it was on a 2, 3, 4, 5. It did so much. On a 1, it blew up, and on a 6, it did something else. If you remember right, it added 1 to the wounds and character strength or something.
Yeah, it did something.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I think it was attacks and strength. So this time it's once per battle for each plasma sight this unit has. When this unit is selected to fight, you can use the ability. If you do, until the end of the phase, melee weapons equipped by this model in this unit have the devastating wounds ability. So is that basically the 6s do mortal wounds or automatically wounds?
Something like that, yeah.
And obviously you need to put the appropriate models next to the models, moving each one each time that unit uses this ability. So you can. So each time you use it, you take one off. Okay, so we got to use it every round before, whereas now you can only use it once per battle.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, so that's a bit of a nerf.
Yeah, but you're also then inheriting the devastating wounds, so I suppose if you really want to get it and destroy something, you can sacrifice it to get the devastating wounds, maybe.
Yeah. It just means you don't get it every turn of because it was made them stronger and more attacks, but that's fine. No, overall, quite happy with that. Quite excited.
Yeah.
Do you think we've got a bit of bonus time to have a look on page 63 at the Catan Shard?
I think we need to. Page 63. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Now, the thing to remember is, so the Catan Shard is one where I've got the model, but never actually got to use it in 9th.
No. But
you
played
Winters. Had it used against you with Winters who played it, and it was pretty bloody mean then.
And I fucking ruined it.
Yeah, eventually. It ruined you quite a bit first.
It did. It took quite a bit
if
out.
our friend Winters is listening, remember, I got you back, homie. I'll point out that he did wipe out quite a bit of your stuff before you managed to bring it down, but you did bring it down.
And for those listening, go over to that game with Winters and let him know that Chris has got his back. Chris from Command Battlewin has got his back, homie.
Yes. Homie. Oh. Right. So let's have a little look. So it's got a movement of 7 inches. I don't know what it was in 9th.
So I've got it up. It was 8th.
Okay.
8 inches.
Okay. So it moves a bit slower. Toughness is 11. I imagine that's gone off a bit.
From 7, yes.
And saving throws are 4+.
The 4+
with an invulnerable table 4.
And it had an invul 4+. The thing that you've lost is you no longer. No, hang on. So you cannot lose more than 3 damage, per phase. That was in 9th. Now you've lost that. Right.
So we've got drain life at the end of the fight phase. Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model. On a 4+, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Oh, I thought it was going to be like Cypher then, but it's not. It's strange. And then Necrodermis, each time an attack is allocated to this model, halve the damage characteristic of that attack. Great. So this one is more disgustingly resilient than a Death Guard.
Well, you've got Marnius Calgar's heroic. What was it? Heroic or Helios armor, which halved all incoming damage, which he's now lost, and your Nightbringer's got it. So that's quite a good ability. That saved my ass a lot. You have lost your Catan powers, but you've drained life is basically the Catan power.
A new Catan power, yeah. Ranged weapons. So Gaze of Death is a blast. It's a range of 18 inches, D3 attacks, ballistic skill of 2, so you're pretty much going to be doing some damage. Strength of 12, so it's a tank armor. AP -2 with damage of D6 +3. That's mean.
So that used to be a Catan power, that did.
You could roll well with that, couldn't you?
You could do a lot of damage with that.
If you were to roll really well, you could potentially be doing 9 damage 3 times, so 27 wounds. That's ridiculous.
Jeez.
And then a melee weapon, that's before you even get into combat. And then a melee weapon is the Scythe of the Nightbringers, a strike. It's devastating wounds. So you can choose, looks like you're choosing if it's strike or sweep.
Yep.
So this is going to be your hard-hitting killers or your horde killers. And you've got either 6 or 14 attacks, 2 pluses, strength of either 14 or 8, arm piercing 4 or -2, and it's D6 or 2. So that's still pretty, even on the sweeping, that's still going to take out quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
I could definitely wipe out a tank or a walker or a squad of Hellblasters, for example.
Yeah. That's pretty mean.
Nice. That is going to be pretty mean. I know he's big points, or at least he was for 9th. But I think he's going to be worth every single one spent.
Cannot be your warlord, but he's an epic hero.
No, he's an enslaved star guard, so he can't be a warlord. But he's good. I'm looking forward to bringing him. And I know Winters has just done a Necrons 10th edition game, so go check it out because he's brought in. I believe he's brought a Nightbringer with him.
Oh.
I could be wrong. I could be completely making that up.
Was that on the 19th?
I'm sure I've seen it recently. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm
going to quickly pop over and have a look, so I'm not telling you wrong. He's brought the Blood Angels versus Necrons,
Okay.
and I'm sure in that I'm sure I saw a Nightbringer popping along, but I could be wrong. Go and have a look, find out, let me know.
I do like the Necron models. I think they're very cool looking models.
No, I'm feeling quite positive actually about Necrons, more positive than Death Guard now.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it'll be good. It's going to be interesting. We're going to get some games in. In fact, my wife was asking me when we're going to be playing more games, so I think she started to get sick of me again. So she's like, "When are you going to go? When are you going to not be here?" So let's hope that means we can get some bits together. And I know we keep mentioning about Narrative Crusades, but we will find some dates to go and play them.
Yes, yeah, we do. We really need to. Yeah. Speaking of normal Crusade, they just launched some information about the Crusade, but it doesn't really tell you anything other than basically remove all your battle honors and all this from the normal Crusade.
Okay, so basically start again.
Yes, yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, we can look into that in a separate podcast.
Yep. Look forward to it.
Yep, I'm quite happy to say we're done.
Okay, excellent.
All right, well, thank you all for listening.
Thanks for having
us.
us.
Subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mums, move the troops. And we'll catch you when we review something else.
Bye.
Probably something not as good because it'll be Az's armies.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Bye.
Fighting talk.
Fighting talk. Bye.